Welcome everybody to Fandom Nights, where we break down pop culture one fandom at a time. That's Sherman.
That's Dustin.
I'm Dustin.
And no introduction for me. I'm Chris. Today we're talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender book.
It's usually your job to introduce.
Well, he introduced me, I introduced you. That's why I was waiting. Like we were both waiting
Episode
for you.
14, City of Walls and Secrets. It was released on September 22nd of 2006. And Dustin, take us through the story.
No, thanks.
Please.
I have a problem watching this on Netflix because the numbers are off since the 1 hour specials.
Yeah.
With like Secret of the Fire Nation. It shows up as one episode, but it's episodes 12 and 13.
Sure.
So when I watched this one, it shows up as episode 14 or episode 13, I think.
Episode 13. But
and I was like,
yeah.
Come on, guys.
Come on, Netflix, get your numbering system down.
right.
So, it starts off with the gang making it to the Bossing Say, and they're taking a train, which is powered by Earthbenders, which is pretty cool.
That would
we saw
suck
that in the last
to
episode.
be them.
We saw that in the last episode too. They would be such powerful Earthbenders. You think like exercising that Earthbending muscle the whole time, you think you'd be just super powerful, but
because when I think it's when Iroh and Zuko get on the train,
yeah,
you see them like.
That was cool.
Keep going.
So, during this time, Sokka mentions that the city might be attacked by a killer shrimp, and Toph accuses Sokka of hitting the cactus juice again. Aang senses that Appa is here, and then we run into Jodie.
Yeah, or Judy.
Judy.
Yeah, man, Boss 6A is huge. How hard is it going to be to find a giant bison in this city? And then pans out, and you're like, jeez.
Well, as you said last week, it's probably like the size of a third of America.
Alaska, something like that.
They had the creepiest like music when Judy first like shows up.
Oh.
Yeah, I got like weird, and I'm like, I don't like this girl.
And an even creepier version at the end when the next
Exactly.
Oh my god!
Just the faceless, smiling Judy. Different person though.
There are 30 Judies here.
Right.
So Judy asks...
Sorry, where did she come from? Did they just know that the Avatar was in Ba Sing Se and the king or what's his name, Longfang, just sent her or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what you're thinking. Okay.
The Dai Li knows all.
Yeah,
They do.
Yes.
Anything in the walls, man, they know.
They know everything except that Iroh and Zuko are just chilling in the freaking tea shop.
That's true.
Yeah.
Biggest secret of Ba Sing Se. Nobody knows that those guys are there.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just I'm giving props to Iroh for blending in that well.
Mm-hmm. Well, why would you think that the Dragon of the West was just making tea in a random shop? You know, like, I don't know. But you think Zuko would be pretty recognizable? Like, how many people are burned with how many people have half their face burned where they don't recognize?
Fire Nation people are burned like that?
Good point.
Many other nations might.
That's true. Yeah.
From being burnt by them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so Judy asks if there's anything anyone wants to ask or anywhere anyone wants to go, and Sokka says, "We have some information on the Fire Nation about the solar eclipse that the Earth King must know about." And then Jodie's just like, "Swerve, don't care."
Yeah. Just literally doesn't answer.
Yeah, just like nope.
she has an answer for everything though, because like we met because later on when Sokka's like, we met a professor who like helped us find this hidden library, which gave us like secrets to defeating the Fire Nation. She's like, isn't history fascinating?
Yeah.
Like, what?
So yeah, Sokka brings it up once again, like moments later, and Judy is like, "I assure you, like you're safe. Don't worry."
Mm-hmm.
Not answering the question.
Yeah.
Okay. So then they arrive through the lower ring, and Judy says that the lower ring is for new arrivals, and that it's a great place. And then it pans to a couple of criminal-looking characters holding swords, and she's like, "But you might want to watch your step around here." Anything you guys got?
Well, before that, like Aang has this like sad whistle, where it's just sad to see him just walk around, just blowing his whistle every once in a while. Cause he...
So I love
Hope
like
is just slowly dying.
I know this is like future, but like I love seeing like the callback to this episode, like 2 episodes from now.
See, I don't even remember.
Oh, Appa's Lost
yeah,
Days, because you see, like, Appa hears every single time that
so
belt or
sad.
that whistle goes off.
Yeah,
he goes
even sadder.
nuts.
It was sad just watching him whistle in this one. But
You will cry during the next episode.
I like know what ends up happening, but I don't remember all the things.
No, like next week when you watch those next episodes.
Okay.
It's rough, dude. It's rough.
Yeah.
So it cuts to Zuko and Iroh, and they're walking in the same zone of Ba Sing Se, the lower ring, and they're on their way to start their new jobs. But Zuko doesn't want to stick around long enough to even call this place home.
Right. Oh, before then too, Judy's like, the walls help maintain order in the city. Like, we have the rings, but then we have the walls inside the rings just to maintain order. Or no, sorry, they have the outer wall, then they have the inner walls, the 3 rings
That
to maintain order. Yeah. Total caste system.
That's America for you.
That's
India
for you. Yeah.
Why India?
India is based on a caste system. And I've actually learned a lot of this from talking with Chris Watton's wife. Because, like, her parents actually got, like, disowned by their families. Because her dad, I think, married a lower caste than he was.
Yeah.
Because, like, priests are essentially, like, way up there. And then it's, like, warrior caste, which is, like, a whole nother, like, level of people.
Sure.
And then, like, there's... I don't even know how many levels,
There's
but,
a
like...
lot, yeah.
If you marry someone, like, low... Like, not of, like, similar caste, then, like, you're almost, like, a disgrace to the family.
Yeah.
Korea is similar to that.
And you're
like,
stuck in it, too. I mean, not similar to this. This you can... at least get up through the rings. Like that one guy's like, it took me 5 years to get this house. But in India and in some systems, you're born into that caste, and it's actually, if you're a higher caste and you help out someone lower than you, it's bad because they were born into that. They're reincarnated into that body because they did something bad in their other life. So helping them up is in a way punishing them because you're not letting them live out their penance. So, I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
And Korea's like that, too, because rewatching Lost. No. Because, like, so Jin and Sun are from Korea. And, like, Jin is the son of a fisherman.
Oh, right.
Who's, like, that's a super low, like, level in their culture. So, like, when he gets a job as, like, a doorman at a hotel, the manager of the hotel's like, yeah, don't let people like you in this building.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I'm like, what?
I didn't know Qui-Gon Jinn had a son.
The second I said Jin, were you just waiting to use that?
He was, yeah. He had it cocked and ready, and he's just bam.
Yeah!
Oh, man.
You guys know me too well. As soon as you said Jin, I'm like, I gotta think of a nice Qui-Gon reference.
That's funny.
So back to Avatar.
Is this where Zuko and Iroh talk about hot leaf juice?
It's coming on back.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot, like you said, a lot of quick cuts and stuff. Cuts back to the carriage where Team Avatar is, and they're taking a ride in the upper levels or whatever, where their new home is. And Sokka tries his luck again on bringing up the Fire Nation and the war to Judy.
Yeah, because she mentions universities.
Right.
Yeah. He just keeps pushing. She says, nope.
So then, we get the quick cut to Iroh, and this is where Jet is, like, waiting for them to fire him, too.
Yeah.
And as Iroh drinks his tea...
I love how smart Iroh is. Well, both of them are. Like, they have their little fire starter things. I mean, that's later, but they have their little fire starter things, and how easy would it be just to be like, and light it, you know? But, no, I'll just go borrow it from the neighbors. Like, they just denounce the firebending side of themselves because they don't want to be seen in any way. It's just cool. Shows how good Iroh is at blending in and stuff.
Right.
Because this is when he's like Jet's like creeping outside the tea shop, just like watching the inside. Right.
Yeah.
Do you think Iroh knows? Maybe ? Knows that Jet is watching. I mean,
no, but I think he's used to cities and how there's like eyes everywhere in cities and stuff because he's part of the White Lotus. He's used to a lot of secrets and
spoilers.
Well, we found that out before.
We knew that he was playing.
He did the White Lotus thing, and yeah. Anyways, he went in that secret room.
The organization hasn't been named yet, but we know he's part of it.
Okay.
Because they call him a Grand Master.
Mm-hmm.
Oh sure.
But
that's cool that he's the Grand Master, and then like at the end there's still 4 other masters or whatever, 2 of each element.
So watching this, I literally watched it last night, and you guys know how much I hate Jet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like,
which I don't understand. I understand.
I just hate his character.
Loved him getting locked up.
Oh my god, yeah, absolutely.
Getting all hypnotized and stuff.
Granted, I will give you this. I hate what happens to him in this series, like in the end. But like everything up to that, I'm just like, God, just deserve it.
Why don't you like him so much? I don't
you
understand.
know, the problem is
He's
I don't
not
even.
that bad of a character. I understand.
He's one of
He's
those
a
guys.
one-trick pony.
The one line that really makes me hate him is when he was like fighting Zuko in this episode, and he was like, "Look at this! The Fire Nation's trying to silence me!" Like he's just playing the big baby role.
He's a major victim. Like he plays the victim so much, and he literally blames he blames everyone else for his crap life
to justify all his
So the hard part I had with watching this scene though, when he like ducks around the side of the tea shop, is I was watching with my girlfriend and she's like, "Oh man, he's kind of cute." I was like, "How dare you?"
She said that about Jet.
I was like, "How dare you?"
You're just gonna start like keeping a toothpick in your mouth all the time or something.
I was like,
or a piece of
straw.
Yeah.
I was like, man, you would. She's like, what does that mean? I'm like, I hate this guy so much.
Now you hate him even more.
I kind of did. I was like,
got a little competition here.
I felt a little bit better because she's like, how old is that character? I was like, at this point, he's probably like 16 maybe. She's like, oh, I feel really bad now.
Don't worry, guys. Sherman has looked up the voice actor and blocked him on all social media.
Who is the voice actor for Jet? Did we ever get to that in the Jet episode?
I don't think I have.
Okay. Do we see the Dai Li for the first time? Or is that in a little while?
Yep. Yeah, because it cuts back to when they're just about to their house, and they ask, "Who are those guys?"
And they're the guardians of all traditions. Mm-hmm. So
protected the culture.
Yeah, but I just think it's interesting because later when we see Long Feng and we find out that he's the head of them, he's like, "I'm Long Feng, the Grand Secretariat, head of the Dai Li, which are the guardians of all traditions." He doesn't say the guardians part, but it's just there's so many titles in this culture, you know. Mm-hmm. And
it's confusing.
Welcome to royalty.
Right, welcome to society life, and
So the team gets to their house or whatever inside, and Judy tells them that their request to see the Earth King is actually being processed at a much faster pace.
Good news.
It should only take 1 month. And they're like, 1 month? And she's like, 6 to 8 weeks, actually. Like, that's like double the time, but all right.
Oh, I did mention it in the previous. Crawford Wilson.
She kind of does what I do sometimes to Rosie, where it's like, oh, well, this is going to take about 3 or 4 hours, like we driving somewhere or something, which is, it's kind of half the morning, which is really the whole day. And if you take that whole day, it's all of Saturday, which is kind of the whole weekend, which kind of takes out all the activity for this week. And if you take out that week, then it's, this month is like, this is what we're doing this month. I grow this tiny thing into this big thing, and Rosie's just like, like that's what Judy's kind of doing here. It's 1 month. Well, it's kind of 6 weeks. Well, it's 8 weeks, but I don't know.
So Aang asks a local pet store owner if they've seen Appa, and Sokka asks that he has to know something, like about the war or whatever. Asks him like, "Do you know anything about the war?" And blah 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 blah. And then Judy looks at
where's the black market or whatever he's asking, and Judy's like,
"Don't say nothing." Yeah. And then they go and ask some student at one of the universities, like, "Do you know a professor that knows anything about the war or whatever?" And Judy,
I'm not a political science major.
Yeah. So
just intimidation. Everyone knows stuff, but they can't talk about it.
So then they get back to the house, and Sokka notices a neighbor who's watching them weirdly at the door.
Oh.
And he's just some government official or whatever.
Yeah.
And basically just tells him, you can't mention the war here, Dai Li are, kind of corrupt or whatever. In this moment, I knew that Judy knows where Appa is, too.
You think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because like before they went to the zoo and stuff, they're like, oh yeah, I want to look for Appa, my bison, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And Judy kind of just gave this vibe that she knows where Appa is, but isn't gonna say, obviously.
I like how before they do go on that whole thing, she's like, oh no, I'll come with. I won't get in the way. As Sokka's walking up to her, and she literally gets in the way of Sokka, so he can't leave. I won't get in the way. And blocks him. So
yeah. I'm sorry. So then does a quick cut to Iroh, and Iroh's trying to start up his pot of coffee or whatever, and Jet stole the fire starting rocks, and so Jet waits for him to use his fire bending, but he borrows the neighbor's ones instead, and Jet fails yet again. It's just seeming more crazy and crazy and crazy.
Mad out there.
But the thing is, like Smellerbee and Longshot, they both think he's like going nuts for being obsessed with this, and
well, yeah, they're in the middle of the Earth Kingdom. Like, what are the odds that firebenders are going to get in here? You know,
right? So then after that, there's a quick cut back to Katara, and she notices an invitation to the palace for a party for the king's pet bear, and the team was all confused. Like, that's not some type of hybrid animal, like a platypus bear, a skunk bear, an armadillo bear. How about a gopher bear? Toph is like, this place is weird.
It's just a bear.
It's just a bear. No, it just says a bear. Toph's like, this place is weird. So, yeah, then Toph keeps telling Katara that she's not proper. Like, as she's, like, picking her nose.
Yeah, like it was so funny. What does she do? She does,
You don't know high society.
Yeah.
I was taught this.
Proper society, as she burps, then scratches her belly, then flicks a booger. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And then later on, when Aang and Sokka are like bowing and doing all that stuff, they fall down, and the booger falls onto his forehead. It's so gross.
What?
Yeah. Like, she flicked it, it stuck to the ceiling, and then they fall down, and like, there's a sound effect and everything.
Gross.
So Aang and Sokka are playing. So while Toph and Katara are getting ready to dress up, Aang and Sokka are playing rock paper scissors using the elements.
Yeah.
And Aang wins, and then just flicks Sokka super hard. And Aang's face in that moment was just funny as heck. He was almost like a.
I didn't notice that.
Flicked his head and like, oh, ow.
Oh, and when they're like dressing up in their robes too, Aang's like, Katara, Water Tribe. Sokka, Water Tribe. Like we've talked about, they don't have last names before. Like, their last name is literally Water Tribe. I don't know. Just thought it was interesting.
Well, besides, like, royal families, like...
Yeah, you don't have...
Nobody else... Zuko doesn't even have a last name.
Didn't we already talk about that Katara and Sokka are the princes of the Southern Water Tribe?
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah, because their dad is the chief.
But they don't technically own the land, so they don't have last names.
Oh.
Like the Beifongs do.
Well, it's an iceberg, so you can't really own it. It melts.
Okay.
But, like, besides, like, major households in the Earth Kingdom, like, the other nations don't really have last names.
Yeah.
Unless you hold property.
Because...
No, well, like, even May and Ty Lee, they're both, like, May is part of a noble family, but they don't have a notable last name.
That we've been told, yeah.
Cool. Then we get that cool fight with Zuko and Jet.
Yep. Yeah, it pretty much cuts to Jet and Smellerbee and Longshot telling him that he's obsessed about this too much, and Jet will get the evidence without their help and then storms off and confronts Zuko with the swords, and then Zuko defends the honor of himself, his uncle, and the tea shop.
I honestly had, like, Batman vibes from this, because, like, when Smellerbee and Longshot almost made me think of, like, Robin and Nightwing going to Batman and be like, listen, man, you're kind of, like, obsessed with this part right now. Like, you need to, like, calm down. And he's like, no, I'm going to do this!
So it cuts quick back to Katara and Toph trying to get inside the party, and then they stumble upon Long Feng, and they get into the party claiming that they lost their parents, but Long Feng won't let them out of their sight until they find their parents.
Yeah, as your escort, I'm honor bound. Whoa, okay.
But then what's creepy is like when Katara and Toph ran into Aang and Sokka and said, yeah, we can't get this guy to stop following us. And they're like, what guy?
Where'd he go?
And
He's
then
gone.
all of a sudden they start getting taken individually.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of scary. It was just weird how he was there, and then not there. Because I watched it, I was like, wait, he was just right behind that.
Yeah, he must have had some other things going on. There was the fight scene with the Zuko.
Well, I think Long Feng
rebellion.
saw the Avatar and then told the Dai agents, like, hey, go get their friends and then
Well, yeah,
meet
because the
them
king
up
came
here.
in and then immediately left. So
Which-
he's like, I need to take care of this. The Avatar's here. We got to get him out of here.
Right.
Not gonna lie, in my opinion, is like the coolest form of like earthbending ever. Those like fist things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome.
I like those a lot.
Those and then the earth cuffs that they put on Jet.
Yeah,
Get
I
out
like
of
how
that, kid.
do that. All you have to do to cuff someone is just...
Yeah.
It's like I want like rock. You know, I want to be an earthbender just to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So then it cuts back to Zuko and Jet finishing up their fight, and Jet ends up getting taken away by the Dai agents. And then it cuts right back to the palace, and the Earth King has his review. Do you have any notes on that?
I like how he just like, hey everybody, and then they carry him off like.
Yeah, well, I think because they were told that the Avatar is here, and you know they don't want to expose them to any outside forces that are not approved by Long Feng. So
Right. So yeah,
I love the little argument between the guys who are sitting next to the bear. They're like, I did so much to get these.
Do you know what I had to do to get this close to the
like,
bear?
You're sitting next to a bear. Like, that's what, I don't know, just the things that people care about, just even in our real world, you know, some people care about the craziest things. Like, oh, I got like when you go to like a baseball game or something, like going to a Twins game, like some people pay thousands of dollars for a seat right here, where it's like $12 for a seat up here. And I'm like, man, the cost difference doesn't make that much sense to me.
well, I mean, game, yeah.
It's like going to a concert though too. Like,
yeah,
basketball game, way worth it. Concert, way worth it. Some sports just suck. Baseball sucks.
I'm just saying,
My
like,
opinion.
the cost difference between some of the things and
I don't do sports.
what you get from it.
Soccer sucks too.
Yeah, what you get from it doesn't match what you paid for it. So like,
it's the most played sport in the world.
Yeah, let's watch two teams of however many people kick a ball for 90 minutes, and the end score is 1-0. Yeah, super fun, exciting to watch. Or
I mean,
you can
some
watch basketball. When
some
the score's
football
like
games are like
100.
that though.
Huh?
Some football games end up like that,
What?
where it's like, all right, let's watch a team like fight over a little ball
Did I
for a
say
while.
I like football.
I guess.
he's that guy who all those like mobile games are advertising to. Like, you do this and you get 1 million points. You do this, you get 10 million points. Okay, just put a bunch of zeros at the end of the number. Who cares? You're like, yep, that's me. I like lots
I had
of
no
points.
idea how that tied into anything. But
Anyways,
Yeah.
see, for me, it kind of makes me think more like, and I know this is like stereotyping Russians, but like the whole like Russians like training bear, like circus bears. So I'm just picturing like, okay, how much money would you pay if Vladimir Putin had his own personal like trained bear? If you could sit at the table next to said bear.
How much money would I pay for the privilege of doing that?
Some people would pay a lot.
I guess, yeah, I'd pay a couple $1,000s to sit next to Vladimir Putin's trained bear.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't. This is completely off the top of my head. I'd pay like $2,000, maybe.
Yeah, see?
I suppose.
Me? $20.
Yeah.
I would not put money down.
See, I could do like $20 because it's like
Well,
going out to
I'm
eat.
talking like
I'd pay for the meal.
I'd rather go out to eat.
I'd pay for the meal I'm about to have. I don't care if I'm sitting
rather
there.
than sit next to a bear. I suppose. Man, now that I'm thinking about this, I'm totally those high society guys. Like, do you know what I did to get these seats? I'm making fun of them, but I'm like, actually, I would do that if it was in real world.
Yeah, see, there you go.
I'd pay money to eat next to a bear.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So anyways, Jet gets brainwashed by the Dai agents.
Creepy scene, man. The little hourglass thing going
You are
around.
safe here.
That was so creative.
There is no wall or no war.
In the walls. Within the walls.
Yeah.
You are safe. Yeah, creepy.
It was just a creative use of the hypnotizing like watch thing, but like with a candle going around and around, and yeah.
Do you think they do that to like anybody in the city?
Oh, they do it to lots of people. And
Steps out of line.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
or like if anybody mentions the war.
That
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Because all these refugees know about the war.
Just imagine being the guy in charge of that. Like, I would hate to have that job.
Another one.
No, well, think about like the butterfly effect on that. Like, one person mentions the war, all of a sudden like 5 people start talking. Is there a war outside the walls? Like, what's going on? And be like, crap! Now I've got like 20 people I got to do today.
20.
You gotta brainwash.
These invoices just keep coming in. I haven't seen my family in 3 days. I'm just sitting here spinning a little hourglass thing around.
You're freaking safe, all right?
Your shift gets done. You go home, honey. How was work today? You are safe.
There's no war within the walls. You are safe. Just rocking back and forth.
He's dreaming. Help me! In the middle of at night, he's just sleeping. Safe. Dream. Walls.
War.
Forced shell shocked on himself. We've got PTSD from brainwashing people.
So Aang tells Longfang that he will tell everyone about the war, and Longfang threatens to throw them out of the city, and tells Aang he wouldn't want his quest for his bison to come up empty-handed, would you?
Now it's like, dude, you know exactly where he is.
I want to kill that guy right in that moment.
Yeah.
Like, I would have airbended, cut your neck off if I was Aang.
Jeez.
Just do what.
Did you not see him kill like the bugs?
It was a bug.
It's a person out of billions of people.
Yes.
Also, the tough part is like if you kill him, like how are you gonna find out where Appa's hanging out?
One of those other guards knows something.
Just.
All right, I'm gonna do it. I'm
gonna
gonna kill you
until one of you guys talks.
I will murder this entire city, and there's a lot of people.
Aang goes dark.
This is the Avatar's version of the Holocaust right here. Do what?
Avatar, the last Earth.
Avatar, the last Earthbender. Well,
The
there's
next
a lot of Earthbenders. What do you mean? There's not going to be for long.
Not for long.
Next episode is just the last days of Bossing Say.
The last days of Bossing Say. Aang kills the Earth King, takes over the Earth Nation. The end.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, we're gonna march on the Fire Nation right now.
So after Longfang tells him that his quest might become empty-handed if he doesn't follow along, a new Judy comes and offers to bring them home.
Which is voiced by the same person. Both of them are the same exact actress.
Creepy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But they sound very different, though.
But then they look obviously different.
Right. That's
Same
all I
creepy
got for the
smile.
story, guys.
Yeah.
I thought it was paced pretty well. Let's get through my...
As far as bending numbers, there was not a lot in this episode. It was mostly just them talking and
Mainly just Aang, I guess.
Yeah. Well, no. Mostly it was just the Earth. The Dai Li, really, that were mostly doing stuff. So there's 3 of water, and that was Aang, just doing his little party tricks.
Mm-hmm.
9 of Earth, the Dai Li mostly. Then 0 of fire and 3 of air. So it wasn't a ton on this one. Creatures, Sherman.
All right, so we have ostrich horses. Those
Oh, I forgot those were in there. Yeah.
well, they're a very
They're
common
everywhere,
Earth
yeah.
Kingdom animal.
Mm-hmm.
Sparrowkeets when they're in the pet shop,
Mm-hmm.
along with this no actual title on the fandom page for Avatar.
Yeah.
Cat owl. I'm just labeling it that because when Momo's like eating the food when they're first in there,
Yeah.
that like weird cat with wings shows up,
Oh, I
but it
forgot
like
about
kind of
that.
has like the body of an owl.
Huh.
And like bigger eyes.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm just
Cat
guessing.
Owl. That's
Owl
like
cat.
it's like a mixture
Owl
of
cat.
animals that I could totally see.
Right.
Because they both like hunt at night and they're quiet. And...
And then obviously you got the Earth King's bear, regular bear.
just
Taken straight from the multiverse, come from Earth.
Yeah.
Wait, does WandaVision work into this?
It does! You didn't see her in the background?
That's what that coloration in Aang's like waterbending was.
Yeah.
It was the portal.
I like the wise saying, "Life happens wherever you are, whether you make it or not." From Iroh, because that's when Zuko like, I don't want to make a home here. This isn't a place to have a life or something like that. And he's life happens wherever you are, whether you make it or not, which is kind of, I mean, even going through COVID and stuff, like life still happens wherever you are, whether you make it or not. So with COVID, even though everything's shut down, sort of, you just got to make the most of it and make life happen.
It's kind of like the famous quote, "Home is where the heart is."
Yeah, home is where your rump rests.
Home is where your butt rests.
From Lion King.
Home is where your Wi-Fi automatically connects.
That it does.
If that's the case, I've got a lot of homes, man, because mine auto connects here. Like whenever I show up to like Pete's, like parents' house, my home or like home work,
couple of friends' houses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So once again, Scott Melville shows up for this episode for like one little bit. He's the university student that they're talking to. There's actually a couple like really good ones. So Judy is voiced, by the way, by Lauren Tom, who, 2 pop culture references for this girl. One, I'm going to go with the one that you don't know, is she plays Linda Tran from Supernatural. Do you know the prophet Kevin?
Yeah.
It's his mom.
Oh, really?
Is the voice of Judy.
Okay.
Tiger mom. But she plays, I keep forgetting you didn't really get into Futurama. She plays Amy Wong.
Oh, okay.
Like
Judy. That makes sense.
Judy plays Amy.
Yeah.
And then the big one is Long Fang's character, Clancy Brown. Mr. Krabs.
Oh, really?
Yeah!
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude.
Nickelodeon characters, man.
Yeah.
Why not?
He's been in a bunch of stuff, though. Like, his acting career has gone...
I think we talked about him in an episode once. Because he played another character.
He might have been.
I swear we've talked about Clancy Brown before.
Because he's been in a number of different things.
I don't know.
Has he played anything else in Avatar?
That's actually a good question.
Because I swear you brought him up before. During one of our Avatar episodes.
Because, yeah, he was in Shawshank Redemption, Thor Ragnarok.
What was he in Thor?
He plays Surtur, the guy who destroys Asgard.
Huh.
The giant, like...
Whoa.
The guy who, like, when he first... Like, at the beginning of the movie, he's like... I'm going to destroy Asgard.
What's that line that Thor has? Surtur, how the... Or what does he say?
Son of a bitch!
He doesn't say that. He says, son of a... something.
He does say that.
No, he says...
I literally just watched Thor Ragnarok, like, this week.
Oh, he does. He does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when we...
Oh, because he's like Thor, Odin's... Or son of Odin. Surtur, son of...
Oh, he plays in The Mandalorian.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
As what?
Berg. I think he's one of the tentacle guys who try to, like... Yeah, he tries to...
Oh, he's from the opening episode, isn't he?
No, I think he tries to... He's one of the brothers that try to, like, push him in the boat.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Alright, so let's go through and rate this. The plot. So the story arc. Dustin, what would you give this one?
It wasn't, like, superb, I guess. But, I mean...
So average is 7.
Is it? I thought it was 4.
Whatever you want to rate it, I guess.
He doesn't get sarcasm.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess I'll just give it a 7.
7?
Average.
Okay. The execution, pacing, vision, entertainment. Was it entertaining? Sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll give it an 8.
8?
It was a little bit more than average. I don't know.
Okay, and then the writing, characters, plausibility, originality.
I'll give it a 9.
9? Yeah, it was good. I always like when there's parallels between Zuko's story and Aang's story, where they're kind of doing the same thing. They're in the same... Maybe in this, they're literally in the same town, and the same ring of town, but their stories kind of progressing along at the same time and in parallel ways, sort of, so that's good. The performance, emotional, effective, and plausible, I gave it an 8. The performance delivery, I gave an 8. And it was, because it was kind of average, but it was really good at some spots, so 8 on that. The action, I was originally giving it a 7, but then I noticed that whole thing with Judy where she's like, "Oh, I won't get in your way," as she gets in the way, and like there's other little things that happen in the episode, and like they did pretty good with stuff like that, like acting out what's happening. So I gave that an 8, and then believability, I gave that a 9 because most of it is like Zuko and stuff. Zuko and then Aang's just always does well with his character, so that's that. Sherman, the score or the sounds score.
I thought they did pretty good with this one. I personally gave it a 10.
A 10?
Well, like, because they added like these little tiny like creepy notes every time with Judy like kind of creeping in the back, or like when they first show up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't have any problem with anything for this episode.
Sure.
Man, Judy just makes this whole episode just like way creepier though.
Mm-hmm.
And then the visuals, the framing, camera motion editing.
I give it a 9. It wasn't like, I mean, there wasn't anything like extra crazy about this one.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was cool with like editing with the little addition for like you see. So when Aang gets like found out when they're at the party, they're like, "Oh, I didn't know the Avatar was gonna be here," and then it like cuts out to like the wide shot. You see Momo actually like
I love that.
off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's all right. That's kind of cool. And then like with the coloration for like when he is waterbending, that was super cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry, what'd you give the visuals?
I give it a 9.
9. Okay.
So same with the effects. I mean, Ba Sing Se is like a huge set to deal with. Mm-hmm. So I mean, like,
I think they did pretty well with it though. Like the 3 rings kind of
and keeping it localized to like the tea shop and just like them wandering around like little places.
You just get lost in it, which we kind of do a little bit later. But
I like the little effects though when Iroh's like at the tea shop and he's like pouring some coffee, like this little like or. The guy's like, "Oh yeah, this is like the greatest tea in the city," and Iroh like moves the pot away, but he's like, "Yeah, it's because the special ingredient is love." There's like this little waft of smoke that like goes right by him. I was like, "That's just perfect."
Yeah, that was good.
Also, like when Jet and Zuko are fighting, that like weird blue line when he like throws his
chops his. Like,
when he like slides or like cuts across and he does that Matrix kind of like dodge.
Was he firebending?
No. It was just a little special effect for.
Okay.
No, he's not gonna firebend in front of the guy who's calling him out for being a firebender.
Yeah.
No, just a little bit of lightning right here.
Why don't you use your firebend? All right.
All right.
Again.
Especially because like he's
showed you.
Well, not only that, but Zuko's seen what happens when he did firebend in front of a bunch of people who know or don't think he is.
Good point.
Like,
whoa. Yeah, that's why they're so secretive about it. Because he's like,
I know what people are gonna think as soon as I do
this, and I have the love and adoration of these people. They're gonna
turn on you.
Yeah. Granted, in Zuko alone, though, he does start that off with like, "I am the Prince of the Fire."
Yeah.
Like, maybe if you hadn't said that.
All right, Dustin, what would you give this overall episode?
I'll give it a 8.5.
8.5.
I gave it a straight 9. Figured I'd give you easy numbers.
So that makes it a 8.5 for our episode. And
I think you got an 8.3?
8.7.
Oh, shit.
So we did a little bit lower.
Sorry, language.
I'm like, that's 2 this episode.
Sure. Oh, yeah, I dropped the B word.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, all we have.
I think that's still
for
a
this
PG-13.
Sherman, you want to take, or Dustin, you want to take us out?
Thank you guys for watching this episode of, or let's just say, Chepisode. Man, pulled a Chris. Weird. Thanks for watching this episode of Phantom Nights. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and to our podcast streaming services on iTunes and Spotify. That's all we got for you guys. Thank you guys. Appa.
Yep.